Society has always had a peculiar fascination with sex. When people are not engaged in the act, they are constantly exposed to products and advertisements that not so subtly reference it. Throughout the course of the last century alone, various forms of pornography have emerged, ranging from hardcore porn all the way to the newest genres of pornography, which involve the implementation of virtual reality. The various effects of pornography are still emerging as the industry continues to expand to various facets of life and society. Before pornography became as popular as it is today, erotica was one of the main choices for exploring sexual fantasies. Erotica could be an artistic expression from literary work as much as it could be a form of pornography. It is a safe way to express fantasies without any possible consequences of personally acting on such fantasies. Erotica may take many forms, from short stories all the way to graphic novels. One example of popular work of erotica is the book 50 Shades of Grey, which focuses on a young woman exploring BDSM fantasies with a wealthy businessman. Due to the overwhelming attention the novels received, eventually multiple film adaptations were made, which also proved successful. While erotica may share similarities with pornography in terms of themes and fantasy, erotica generally puts more emphasis on telling the story in artistic ways rather than focusing on sexual acts, which tends to be more seen crudely in pornography. Often today, uh, pornography, especially on mainstream outlets such as Pornhub, is criticized for having questionable storylines and often cheesy and unbelievable acting. One large reason erotica is different from pornography is the focus on emotion rather than action. Erotica has a way of using stories and language in ways that let the reader truly fantasize about what it would be like to be a part of that story, giving sensory information such as smell and sight to the reader. Much of today's pornography has the opposite effect when dialogue is considered. Movies have been a very popular pastime for people in the last century. Movies tend to tell a story in a similar way that reading does, but less of the storytelling and imagery is up to the interpretation of the viewer as there is a visual component to focus on. Movies originally came to popularity in the 1920s as a leisure activity among Americans. Although movies started out as silent films, quickly they came alive with sound as new technologies were introduced. There are seemingly countless genres of movies that have emerged, which were accompanied by new problems. Certain imagery and language were not suitable to view for some audiences, including youth. Eventually, the Motion Picture Association of America, or MPAA, would introduce guidelines in which to rate movies for suitable audiences. By 1990, there were five categories on which movies could fall under. In general, the various ratings focused on acceptable ages that people could view the film. Originally, there was an X rating for films which did not allow anyone under 17 into the audience. However, the rating was changed to NC-17 after an X rating came to represent pornography. In the last few decades, some movie productions have become more relaxed when considering how to rate movies on content. As a result, there's far wider variability in exposure to content such as sex and drug use. This may be concerning to some parents, and it should be noted that movie ratings might not be as accurate as they might seem in predicting content. There appears to be marked differences in the range of categories pornography consists of. One of the main, Two of the main categories of porn are softcore and hardcore porn. There is a distinct difference between these two, which influence the preferred audience. Softcore pornography tends to be the tamer of the two. This variety does not show penetration as more suggestive in forms of stimulation. Whereas traditionally the performers in softcore porn do not actually have sex, but simulate for the audiences. In some cases they do. There are times that pornography productions have hired actors who normally do hardcore porn to do softcore porn scenes. The reasoning for this is that these actors are usually more comfortable on camera, so that it is more believable. Hardcore pornography is more explicit in nature. This type of porn shows penetration as well as close-ups of genitals, and it will often show ejaculation. Normally, when someone thinks of porn, they would be thinking of hardcore porn as it is more popular in society today. Pornography has the capacity to bring out fantasies in people in which they might not have known they had previously. Some people may have a vanilla sex life, now branching out and exploring fantasies due to the fear of being judged. These fantasies may include BDSM, roleplay, or even violence. In a study by Arch Sex Behavior, it was found that 80% of women participants took part in some kind of bondage activities, with no difference found between light and medium bondage. It was found that participants preferred tactile stimulation, and the activities that provide the most response was touching and kissing. This evidence may infer why women might be more likely to prefer erotica and softcore porn, as these varieties of material have higher degrees of sensuality than hardcore porn. Feminist pornography is a way in which stereotypical roles in porn may be changed. In mainstream porn, women are usually seen as a type of object for sex, while in feminist porn, it challenges the directive by giving women and people of different appearances the same types of opportunities to express their sexualities. This may include plus-size women or men of different racial backgrounds, such as Asian men who may often be stereotyped as less masculine in media. In a study by BYU Wheatley Institution, it was found that men watch much more porn than women do at all stages of a relationship, which may potentially lead to relationship problems, as the risk for addiction may increase. Pornography has a vast impact on society today. Although it can be a healthy way of sexuality expression, overuse of pornography may lead to addiction problems such as anxiety and depression. The wide range of categories that pornography is involved in gives people a lot of options when attempting to find what is right for them.